Hello and welcome back to the Percepta Leadership Series. My name is Kellen. For those of you that maybe haven't watched before, I'm one of your co-hosts along with Meredith. And today we are joined by our VP of Technology, which is fantastic. Everybody's favorite IT and technology that we get to do every single day, especially in the area of today being remote. So lots of things with that. So we'll get into a lot of cool stuff with what's going on with that. But before we do, I would love to have Darren just give us a quick introduction on who you are, what you do, kind of what your role is, and maybe just a brief history lesson on your career.
Well, thank you for having me. This is a great opportunity to chat about technology. I always love talking about technology. It's in our lives every day. It's amazing to see what we do. So, as you mentioned, I'm the vice president of Percepta for technology. I lead a tremendous IT organization that has been with Percepta from the get-go, and we're continuing to grow as a company and grow as a business. And as you look at technology, as I mentioned, it's really operating everywhere in our personal lives, our business lives, and certainly something that everybody's paying attention to and driving as a strategic asset. As far as me and what I do, I support our business partners each and every day. It's always about our business. Technology is wonderful. It's cool. It's great things to do when it works. When it doesn't work, it's not so much fun. But certainly, it's all about the business and making sure that technology is enabling our business strategies to be executed and to move forward. So great opportunities all the way around. In terms of my career, it's been an interesting journey. I started in the business world. I actually have an accounting and finance degree, didn't have an MIS or computer background. And when I came out of college, I signed on with a company called Electronic Data Systems, which was EDS at the time, and Ross Perot. And I was going to join their accounting and financial development program, which is a business program. And as I got out of college, they discontinued that program. So I was like, oh no, what am I going to do? And EDS offered me a path to go to the Systems Engineering Development Plan, which is a technology path to be a programmer and really lead in the IT space. And I've never turned back. It's been a tremendous opportunity. Started, I won't bore you with when, because you guys probably weren't even born, but certainly it's been an exciting journey. And I've moved within the company in various levels, as I said, starting as an individual performer, doing programming, architecture, production support, you name it, pretty much did it. And then I had an opportunity to leave what I was doing in EDS and go join another Fortune 500 company in leading an initiative there called, you guys would know it as OnStar.
Yeah.
So we put the first OnStar unit in our president's vehicle, Chet Huber. And then, as you know, it's saved lives, millions of lives every day, or every year, excuse me, in terms of what's going on in that space. But when I look at my career, I think what's most important is that the employees keep an open mind. And my goal was to move within a company every 3 or 4 years to learn different features and functions within the company. So maybe spend 3 or 4 years in supply chain, move on to maybe manufacturing, product development, those types of things, because I think you bring value as you start to learn different facets of your business. And the empathy side of how those things integrate is very, very important. And never get discouraged about potentially going in a door and having closed behind you. You need to take a look at every opportunity as a new learning experience and keep an open mind. And I think that's very important. So I've had an opportunity to learn a lot in IT, had some great mentors, and very happy to be here at Percepta.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's really cool.
You've had a really great journey, and it's interesting to see all the different paths you've taken have led you here to Percepta as an executive. You just mentioned how technology is enabling the business. So let's go into that. How is it helping the business grow, either in new service offerings or enhancing existing service channels?
Yeah, it's a great question. I love to tell stories because I think they resonate with people. So, when I look at IT, I think of a football game. And when you look at IT, we're the referee in the football game. What I mean by that is we play a very important role in the outcome of the game. But at the end of the game, if all you're talking about is the officiating, we didn't do our job, right? The outcomes are what we're helping drive towards from an IT standpoint, but we shouldn't be the discussion of that outcome. So when you take a look at how is IT supporting the business and our clients, traditionally, IT has been seen as a support organization, dedicated to keep the lights on and often viewed as slow moving or difficult in terms of business change. Those traditional companies, in my opinion, if they don't start adopting technology as a strategic asset, regardless of size or geographical location or industry, will have a difficult time succeeding going forward, but just because of what technology is doing to engulf and improve with a business opportunity. So when I take a look at that, successful companies, and especially at Percepta, we adopted and drove digitalization as a natural act within the company. And so what does all that mean? It means this buzzword that you hear a lot of called digital transformation. And it's sort of like a buzzword that if you ask 10 people, you'll get 10 different answers. But it means one thing to us. And what it means to us is that we are going to improve our business's agility through what I'll say world-class digital and data-driven experiences that to enhance those customer experiences, modernizing our workforce and our IT team. And so what does modernization mean? It means that IT, along with our business partners, right, will continuously have a conversation about how we work, how we lead, how we operate differently, because things change constantly, right? We're going to be data-driven. We're going to be driven by customer-centered, journey-focused approach, delivering experiences to delight our customers. Our customers are the center of everything that we do. And a customer could be an employee, a client, could be anyone, right? And lastly, we identified and divested legacy technology that was no longer relevant, that didn't meet our business strategies or our IT strategies or our customer outcomes. And so that's what we're doing from an IT standpoint to really help our business and to become an agile organization.
Yeah, that's awesome, Darren. And it's interesting because IT, you kind of have customers in that you have our customers as Percepta's customers, but you also have customers as me and Meredith as employees that are using our technology. So you kind of have to be in both sides. So how is technology at Percepta helping like build the foundation of our company? Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, if you take a look at IT can really become the bottleneck of the company, right? Mm-hmm. If we do not build a foundation that enables our business partners to do what they need to do, IT will quickly become the bottleneck. So when you take a look at that, most of our leadership at Percepta arrived about 3 years ago, led by our CEO and president. And we really changed the company's business model from one of pretty stagnant, not much growth, primarily one client. And we've really turned that around, diversified the portfolio, new clients, new services, new enhancements. And we took an environment that was solely an on-premise, with fancy way for saying we managed our own infrastructure, our own environment in a single data center. That's not going to be viable for a growth company that has double-digit growth, about 1,000 employees every year, and new clients to be able to move. So what we took a look at was we wanted to partner with some of the industry leaders, and we wanted to take our ability to look at innovation in running the business and flip it. So when we got here, about 99% of our IT organization was running the business. Wow. Very little innovation at all. And the goal is to flip that to an 80-20 model that says 80% of our IT workforce will be working on innovation, business value driven activities, data-driven models versus keeping the lights on and running the business as we start to deploy more and more technology. So we created a culture of winning and fearlessness. Be bold. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. A lot of times people, are afraid to make mistakes. But in my mind, if you make a mistake, that means action's being taken. Embrace it. We'll clean up the mistakes. It means there's bureaucracy is minimized, limited, and people are really enjoying what they're trying to do. And that's really what we're trying to do from a foundation perspective, is give an agile type environment to our business partners.
Yeah, that's awesome, Darren, and it's really cool to kind of see that vision a little bit and hear about it. But you kind of alluded to it a little bit, but you guys are working on a kind of a cool project right now. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Sure. So we want to become a data powerhouse. So we want to take a look at data. Data drives everything, right? When you say digitize your business, you're really saying I want to use data to turn into information, to turn into insights, to turn into predictive analysis or analytics, and that ultimately turns into cash, right? So we had a data warehouse that served us well. 20 years, it was a legacy environment, a lot of homegrown applications, and sat in an environment that we maintained. It wasn't going to be agile enough to maintain our global footprint, all the new clients that we're having, all the local regulatory requirements, like in Europe when you get into GDPR and those types of things. So we partnered with the largest public cloud provider, Amazon, AWS, Amazon Web Services, and it's a great partnership. We went out to their headquarters, talked strategy, and we moved our data warehouse from our local environment in Melbourne, Florida, to the cloud in AWS without incident. It's a tremendous effort, and one could say, well, how many, talk IT, how many data tables and how many lines of code, and that's not really what it was about. What it was about was, what did it do for the business, right? And what it did is, we needed to be nimble in providing a speed to market in all areas of the world that we want to do business in, or that we do business in. We wanted a cost structure that enabled us to throttle up and down our technical debt, our resources like storage and CPU and those types of things. We wanted seamless integration with AWS's partners like Salesforce, which is a huge CRM provider, and the integration they have there. And with us being in the customer experience business, it provided us tremendous advantages to do that from an integrated perspective. And lastly, we wanted to completely have a scalable and secure provider, which Amazon has, that enables us to, when we add 1,000 employees a year, be able to do it quickly and without incident. And this enables us to do it. So we took a cloud-first approach to what we were doing, and that's what we continue to do.
Yeah, that's a huge initiative, and I know a big undertaking by your team. And I'd actually spoken to a few members of your team, and they were really excited of the progress of the project, and really proud of obtaining that goal. So looking back, you're an executive today at Percepta. It's a fast-growing, successful company. What is something you would tell your younger self, maybe in your 20s or 30s, as a young professional?
Well, you're dating me. I mean, that's a long time ago, Meredith. I would take a typing class for sure. But what I would tell people that, you're starting out is, regardless of what industry you're going into, whether you're going to be an interior designer, a sous chef, or a doctor or whatever, take some technology classes. It's very important that you understand technology, because it's in your everyday lives. You go to the doctor these days and they're on a laptop, everything's online, and you really need to understand what technology is doing. I would also encourage people to just do something that they love. And you're going to sleep for a third of your life. You're going to work for a third of your life, and then you get a third of your life back to do whatever you want. So if you're going to do a third of your life working, do what you love what you do. Always be humble, always have integrity, always embrace change, look for the opportunity. I know there's anxiety, but do that. And stick to what I call the 3 L's. One is always listen. You can learn from anybody at any place. You can be in a fast food restaurant or a baseball game or in the mall or anywhere in your working place, and you can learn from anybody, which is the second L. If you listen, you learn. Continuous learning, always learn. If you always are learning, you're always going to be successful in my mind, because you're learning new things in the way to do things. And then, like I said, the last L is love what you do. I love getting up every day. I love my team. You guys are awesome. The Percepta team is awesome. The culture is everything. The story I tell everybody is, if you think of Apple as an example, what does Apple do? Apple makes hardware products, phones, computers, laptops, software, right? Why do people want to work for Apple when they make hardware and software? It's not what they do, it's who they are, right? It's their culture. And Percepta is developing a culture similar to that, where it embraces people and embraces ideas and generates the kind of people that will make us successful. That's what I would tell people. Keep open-minded.
Yeah.
That was really great, Darren. And thank you for that. I'll just say, I couldn't agree with you more about technology. It's something that we're embracing. We're doing it right now. We're Zooming live from my house, from your house. We're in 3 different locations here, and we're on technology. So it's definitely something that we all have to embrace, especially in this remote working life that we're kind of in now. So really cool stuff. And just so everybody knows, I'm the IT person that I always am keeping IT employed, because I always have problems with technology. So you're welcome.
You show up on the top of the charts.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm just kidding, Kellen.
I'm a heavy hitter in the IT world, not for a good reason. But well, thank you so much for joining us today and just giving us a quick glimpse into who you are and kind of what we're really doing at Percepta in terms of technology. It's always great to hear about it and just hear right from you, the leader of the IT group. So we appreciate you guys. We appreciate IT for all the stuff that they're doing all the time. And anybody in IT watching, I'm sorry. I apologize.
Thank you for having us. This is fantastic. And as a leader, remember, we work for you. You don't work for us, right? And so go blue.
Thanks, Darren. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
And stay tuned, everybody that has been watching. We will be back in 2 weeks and with Diana Iden from our UK location to talk about mental health. Really looking forward to it. And thanks, everybody. Have a great weekend.
Bye.
Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.